Hello everyone, and welcome to my Wrath the Lich King beta testing part 7. Today I got more than 10 new things to share with you, and one of these things, or well actually two of these things, are tested together with the streamer and YouTuber Grace for Days. I had no clue we were in here to test if there's any invisible walls in the Nexus, but I guess we can confirm there is no invisible wall, so thank you Grace for testing this for me. The real reason for why I was in here was to test if we can use Shadow Melt in combat as a healer and drink. In some of the other videos, people keep telling me the reason why it doesn't work is because I'm too close, so this time I stay far away. The result is the exact same, I'm still in combat and I will not be able to drink. The reason for this is because whenever someone in the party group is in combat inside the dungeon, you will not get out of combat by using Shadow Melt. In my first beta testing video, there's a clip where I show the talent for Arcane Mages. This reduces the cooldown of your evocation. So now the cooldown of this spell is 2 minutes. And I even show you that you are able to equip 2 tier 3 items to reduce the cooldown by another minute. But now people are curious about another thing. Will you be able to have your main gear equipped, swap to the tier 3 items, or will just 2 pieces, use evocation, and then unequip the tier 3 items and swap back to your main gear and keep the 1 minute cooldown? This seems to be the case, so tier 3 items might have a huge impact on how fast you can progress when you're leveling from 70 to 80. In the previous video, we finally figured out why I couldn't use cast sequence macros, and we also made them work, so the one button paladin macro. But now people are curious about if this will work for other classes too, so let's test this and see if we can get some other cast sequence macros to work. As you can probably see, I only have one ability on my action bar, and that's the cast sequence macro. When I get to the target, I do a lot of different damaging abilities and even adding damage over time to the target as well. So yes, cast sequence macros will also work for Death Knights. It seems like this will be the case for all the classes in the game, because whenever I made a new character, I just made a quick macro and it instantly worked. I simply just made a cast sequence macro where I add in a lot of different spells, and all of a sudden I was doing a decent amount of damage as a class that I've never played before. There has been a high request to test if you get any experience whenever you upgrade your rings from Karazhan and Mount Hyjal. And I guess it's pretty straightforward to see right here that you get experience whenever you upgrade it. And this ring, but also the one from Karazhan, you can upgrade all the way up till Exalted. So it's a lot of experience you can prepare for Wrath the Lich King, but also if you wish to reach level 71 a lot faster. In Wrath of the Lich King, but also in the pre-patch, you will need less experience compared to Burning Crusade when you're leveling from 60 to 70. So some of you are wondering, if you're about to reach level 61 as a level 60 twink, will you then level up in the pre-patch now that you need less experience? No, this is not going to be the case, but there's a high chance that you will be 1 experience away from reaching the next level, so be careful in the pre-patch, but also in the Wrath the Lich King. By the way, when I tested this, I also figured out that you need way less experience in the pre-patch, but also in Wrath the Lich King, between level 60 to 70. In Burning Crusade, you for example need almost 500,000 experience to reach level 61. In the pre-patch, it will be almost 300,000, and on top of this, we also get 50% experience boost, so leveling in the pre-patch and on the fresh servers will be so fast. Every single day, there are so many different questions related to the upcoming achievement system in the pre-patch. Most of these questions are pretty similar. Will your account track what you do in Burning Crusade and remember this in the achievement system? This I tried to test by doing the quest in Burning Crusade and then copy over my character to the beta. Alright, so less than 1 minute ago I did the quest Honor the Flame, and now it will be fun to see if it actually remembered this in Wrath the Lich King. When I clicked on the achievement, Honor the Flame in Nagrand is also green, so it seems like it's tracking this at least. But just remember that everything that I test right now is on the beta, so I can't guarantee you it will work the exact same way either in the pre-patch or in Wrath of the Lich King. For example, the achievement Got My Money on My Mind is not being tracked, because right now it tells me I've collected 0 gold on this character. So it seems like some of these things is not going to be tracked, and you need to start working on them in the pre-patch. Some of the hunters out there would also like to know if the aspects has their own global cooldown. So if you will be able to use an aspect, but also an ability at the same time. If you pay attention to the debuff on the target, it applies at the same time as I use an aspect. So the hunter aspects, but also the abilities, has their own global cooldown, allowing the hunter to use an ability, but also an aspect at the same time. In Burning Crusade, all the different quartermasters sell some blue PvP gear, and these items are fairly amazing for a first level 70. Because of this, people would also like to know if there's going to be a set for Death Knights, and it seems like this is not going to be the case. I've tested all the different quartermasters and there's no PvP set as a Death Knight. In the original game, there wasn't a set for Death Knights anyway, so don't expect to see this in the pre-patch. In the previous video, I tested the Omen of Clarity talent with a lot of different spells, but now you would also like me to test this with Starfall and Hurricane. Sadly, my talent tree doesn't allow me to learn Starfall and the Omen of Clarity at level 70. But with Hurricane, I've tried this for more than 10 minutes and nothing happens, so I guess we can confirm this will not be able to proc from Hurricane. There's also been a request to test the warrior talent Damage Shield, and what happens if you combine this together with the talent Deep Wounds. So when Damage Shield crit, will it now apply a Deep Wounds to the target? This I decided to test because this will have a huge impact on the amount of threat you can cause as a tank. I quickly discovered that I needed to pull way more targets in order to test this properly. Every single time my Damage Shield crit, I also swap to the target, but sadly it seems like there's not gonna be any debuff on the target. However, Deep Wounds are not that bad as a protection warrior whenever you use Thunderclap, because when you crit with Thunderclap, there will also be Deep Wounds on the target. Now that I'm already covering different classes, then let's continue with the Shaman. There's also been a request to test the Flurry talent. Will it consume 1 or 2 stacks if both attacks hit at the same time? This I will be testing right now. When I attack this dummy, it seems like whenever I attack at the same time, it will only consume 1 Flurry stack. So I hope this is good news for those of you who plan to main an enhancement Shaman. In this talent tree, you will also be able to pick the new talent Maelstrom Weapon, and whenever you hit the target, you have a chance to get one of these. This you can stack all the way up to 5 times, and when you reach 5 stacks, you will also be able to do some certain spells instantly. Some of you would like to know what is the chance of getting Maelstrom Weapon. I can't give you the exact number, but if you pay close attention to the buff at the top right corner, you can also see it happening fairly often. Of course, I've also spent 5 talent points into this talent. The last class I will cover in this video is going to be Death Knights, more specifically Troll Death Knights. Will the Troll racial have an impact on the amount of haste your gargoyle will get? In the first clip, I didn't use my racial, but this was to see how fast the gargoyle will be casting without this buff. The average cast time seems to be around 2.5 seconds, so let's see what happens if I activate my buff before I summon the pit. In this clip, you need to pay close attention to the stopwatch. In the first clip, the cast time was around 2.5 seconds. In this one, it seems to be around 1 second. So the Berserker buff will definitely benefit your gargoyle. Do you know what will benefit me? If you like this video, because then it also gets recommended to more people out there. And if you subscribe to the channel, you will also get notified when I post the next video. But yeah, this is also about it for today. As always, thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Peace.